Hey y'all, happy Saturday afternoon. Y'all, this situation with Afeni Muhammad, the one McDonald's employee that killed her manager, Jennifer Harris, rest in peace, Jennifer Harris, and prayers going out to Jennifer Harris's family, her children. Y'all, as I watched more videos this morning, this afternoon with Afeni, y'all, I'm telling you, the story is really getting sadder and sadder. I did not know that Afeni, had a boyfriend, and from what I understand, she, kind of, stabbed him up too, allegedly from the videos that I'm watching. At first, I was wondering too because she did have a roommate that was doing things to her, trying to get her to have like sex with her for feeding her food or something like that to that effect. So yeah, I kind of did like wonder, was she all kind of things, was she mental health, was she being bullied, was she out here doing you know the whole Merry Christmas activity. But after I after I've listened to more videos all over here on TikTok and all over on Instagram, on YouTube as well, it is given definite mental health issues, and it's very very sad because nobody you know um deserves to be unalived the way that this situation happened, right? And also, nobody deserves to get bullied either. So we have to take those things into consideration with the situation where she was possibly bullied. From what I understand from her videos, they do sound real. Now I can't confirm nor deny if her videos are real, but her stories seem very true, very real. And people who have mental health issues, they can, of course, thrive in society, work, and live by themselves. But we don't know when people are really, really dealing with something mentally and going through things. Like, she seemed very lonely. She seemed as if she didn't have anybody to help her. It seems like people were more like either bullying her or trying to use her instead of trying to kind of help her out, I guess, per se. It was more like, I don't even know, y'all. It was more like, you know uh, I don't know, y'all. It's just very, very, very sad. From the video she made about what the manager was saying about taking her belt off, whooping her, or whatever, saying that, the manager saying, I pulled a pow pow out on my daughter. And then even when Afina, I don't know if you guys seen this video, there's so many videos out there about Afina, but when she had this bird that was dead and she was carrying the bird, y'all, that was like kind of like, very different. But at the same time, like I said, nobody deserves to be bullied. And there are a lot of managers. They will work you until, you feel like you are being slaved on the plantation. Let's just be for real, let's be honest, and will talk to you crazy. And then when you want to take a day off, it's a problem. It's very, very sad. And I think that some of these managers who are acting in this manner to their employees, because there's a lot of them out there, and it's a lot of them that will do this behind the scenes or not in front of other employees, to where a employee can say, yes, she did talk to her like this, or she did talk to him like that. It's kind of like a sheltered behavior, right? Because the managers, they don't want no bad dirt on their name, right? So they'll do it only when that one employee that they're bullying is in the presence of being alone in a room in the supply office or in the office, whatever the case may be. But I'm saying all this to say that nobody wins in this situation at all. From all the videos that I've seen, there's plenty more that I haven't seen that I'm gonna go back and watch. It seems like this girl was bullied. She even was doing videos about it. She was trying to scream out and tell, what was going on her social media. So it's a lot here to take into consideration, and it doesn't negate from the fact that Jennifer Harris lost her life. It doesn't negate from that, but sometimes when you push a person too far and they already have mental issues, but maybe somebody doesn't know, these are the things that can happen. These are the things that can happen, right? But also on the flip side, that it doesn't seem like she had any kind of support, that Alfina had a strong support system. I didn't never see in the videos where she speaks about a family member, speaks about, maybe her mother, brother, cousin, any family members. It's mostly her talking about, how she was treated at work from what I've seen in the videos I've seen thus far. And also her roommate only even doing stuff to her. Her own roommate doing things to her, that was, not, good from what I heard on the videos that I've seen. But like I said, people have to take into consideration managers, even coworkers that you work with. It's not even like a manager on employee situation where these things happen. We have always seen in the past, where employees get into it with each other and they'll come back and it'll be an active shooting, situation. So just in general, people have to be respectful of others. You can't, just because you're a manager, or maybe just because you're an older person, or just because you're a female or a male, doesn't constitute you talking to somebody in a disgusting manner, feeling like you're better than them, because nobody is better than the next person. I always say that, even to my loungers on YouTube, here on TikTok. It doesn't constitute you treating somebody disgusting because you are a manager, or you're at a higher level, you got more money than the next person, or whatever. This is still all bullying. Saying, you got more money, you're a manager just because you're female, just because you're male, just because you just feel like you're superior or better than the person, doesn't constitute you treating them or talking to them like you are sugar honey iced tea on the bottom of their shoe. People have to take into consideration that, everybody is this, nobody's better than the next person. People have these thoughts of, just because I am XYZ, I can treat this person, the way I feel like I could treat them, just because whatever, right? But bullying is never okay, you guys. Being a person as a manager and talking to people just because you're a manager is not okay. And like I said, it's not just managers. It could be employee to employee. It could be, anybody to anybody. But the fact of the matter remains that it's wrong, period, no matter how you look at it, no matter how you slice it and dice it. Bullying, treating people bad, treating people very disrespectful is just not a good thing, period, right? It's not. Like, you should always respect other people. Now, if somebody comes off and be respectful to you, then you kind of know how to, respond. It doesn't have to be in a nasty way. Because one thing I know is that when somebody's being nasty and disgusting to you, and you treat them like, with respect, that makes them even more madder than trying to respond in a negative way. Because if you respond in a negative way, they're like, "Ooh, I got the best of you." It's just better to walk away. Sometimes don't even say anything, to respond to them. But when you're being bullied, you're trying to do your job. You are an employee. Your manager is constantly down your throat, saying this, saying that, and treating you a way that they shouldn't. If you're not doing any of those disgusting things, and the manager is just being a bully just because they're a manager, just because I'm a manager and I tell you this, that, and the third, I could tell you, I could talk to you. That's just not right, you guys. But a lot of her videos, Alfeni's videos, they're very, very, they seem like they're truthful to me. I mean, they very, she was, all the stuff that she was saying, the way she was talking to them. That's why I want to go to this trial, you guys. I want to see if these other employees are saying the same thing. Was Jennifer, the manager at the McDonald's, talking to other employees like this? I mean, really and truly, I wouldn't want nobody, if I'm working in a place, in a workplace, and I have the manager saying that, they want to take their belt off and whoop us like, we're their children. I mean, come on, y'all. That is a little, that's that's not right. But at the same time, nobody deserves to be unalived, killed. It was really bad what Alfena did to Jennifer, and I'm not constituting what happened, or sticking up for neither, because I don't know. I wasn't there. I'm just going off of the videos that I hear from Alfena, going off the news. Y'all, there's, like I said, there's so many videos out there on this situation.